Hello and welcome to the Holy Hour, the All Cure podcast. I'm Gavin, and we have the last 3 shows to review for you guys before I get to the front lines and start getting into the thick of it. And I thought I was just going to be reading off some cut and dry set list talk from the road. God knows how I'm going to post it, but this is too urgent to not post for you guys right now, the night before I leave. So the shows, 2 shows in Montreal, 1 show in Boston, and we were lucky enough to hear from our dear buddy Erik was once again at these 2 Montreal shows that took place on Friday night, June 16th at the Bell Centre, Montreal, and June 17th, Saturday night in Montreal. 2 amazing shows. It sounded like they were awesome. They had a great poster that came in at the last second. It was a poster change from the leaked image of that comic book looking image of Robert Smith to a way better looking, in my opinion, cat poster. We get another cat, and this one's adorable. It's a cool black cat with a heart balloon wrapped around it. He's floating up, and unfortunately it was not available at the shows, though, it sounds like. So you're going to have to order that one. Something about it got held up in customs, so I think maybe a last-minute change might have happened on the poster front. But very cool. The second night, it got changed to a white cat, so based on your preference or which night you went to, you have choices. So that's very cool. Very awesome poster. Before we dive in, well, you know what? Erik covered all these perfectly. So let's go ahead and let him cover it. All the songs that were there, all the emotions, everything from the band. 2 nights in Montreal. Let's hear how night 1 went down from Erik. Take it away, buddy.
Hey Gavin, hey guys, Erik here, reporting in after night 1 at the Montreal Cure show, June 16th at the Bell Centre. I'm going to keep this review a bit briefer. I won't go through the whole set list one by one, but I'll just read it through in case people don't know. So we got Alone, Pictures of You, A Fragile Thing, A Night Like This, Love Song, and Nothing Is Forever. Pretty standard stuff. Then 3 Imaginary Boys, Show It Up, which is a great not so often played track, and that's how it was introduced. Digging Deep, and you can always tell when he's preparing the chords what it's going to be, so that's exciting. 3 Imaginary Boys. It's also kind of a funny place to put it in the set, but fun. Then Burn, and then followed by Kyoto Song. This is the first time I hear a Kyoto Song live. I thought I'd heard it before, but I was mistaken. This is the first time I get it live. And what a nice treatment we get with that song. It's pretty and a nice break from the heavy rock. I feel like they need a break every once in a while from the wall of sound. And amazing vocals on this. I really thought he pulled them out well, because this is one where he sings pretty high and nailed it. This comment will come back. Then bunch of rockers as per kind of usual. So Push, Play for Today, A Forest, Shake Dog Shake, From the Edge of the Deep Green Sea, and End Song. On to Encore 1. I Can Never Say Goodbye and It Can Never Be the Same. And then they swapped out Want for At Night. Hadn't heard that one in a bit. That was a great surprise. Nice treat to get that. I like the dark blue lighting that goes with it, and how paced a song that is. I love 17 Seconds, and although this hasn't been my favorite track on that album for quite a long time, I've really grown to love it more, especially in the last few years hearing it live. I think it really works well, kind of like the slow build up with that song. And then Plain Song and Disintegration. Encore 2, we know what to expect with that one. A couple of surprises, I guess. Not big surprises, but the few additions would be 6 Different Ways After Lullaby. And then The Walk, Friday I'm in Love, Close to Me. And then Why Can't I Be You is back again. In Between Days, Just Like Heaven, and Boys Don't Cry. So that was the set list. This show I attended with my wife of many years, who's been to many shows with me, but she hasn't been to one since 2000. So this is her return to the Cure after like 23 years. And our youngest son came too. And that was kind of like his first big loud rock show ever. And I wasn't sure how that would go over with the both of them, who, I don't know, they don't always have the patience for like the loud music, but they came with their earplugs and they both really enjoyed the show. They both had really good things to say about it. During the middle of the first set where they didn't know all the songs, they popped out, picked up some t-shirts, came back happily with those. So anyway, this show is at the Bell Center, which is like a closed arena, and for me this is like the show in Chicago. I have to say I prefer being in the enclosed spaces now, having seen both. I've never been to a festival show. Maybe that's a different experience if that's outside, but I really like the inside kind of cavernous feel. It's dark in there when they've got the intro music coming on, the rain and so on. And I love to see the wraparound crowd when the whole crowd is lit up from the stage lights, or in the quieter songs when everyone's got their cell flashlights. It's really quite amazing. So I really like being surrounded by the people like that. Yeah, just a nice feel. The initial tickets I got for this show in that first like fan verified selection or whatever were in the 100s, but way at the back. And last minute, the day before the show, we looked and we saw some equivalent price tickets in the 100 levels right off to the side of the stage. So this is like Roger's side of the stage, and basically row G, I don't know what that, I guess that's like maybe 10 rows up from the stage and just slightly diagonal. So I have never had a better view of a show than I did that night. It was incredible. We were on the side where the band walks in from and exits from, and so we could see them walking in as the crowd's going crazy, see all the hair coming in and everyone going crazy. And there's all of a sudden Robert's like right on stage a few lines down from us, and it just shocked me. It was oddly intimate to have him standing right there, just a few rows down from eye level. I've been on the floor before, and that's cool too, but this was weird because you could really see the whole thing up close. Loved it. You could still see the backdrop in diagonal, and you could see the interaction of the band, and you could see the looks on their faces, and got a good view of Roger through the whole show, which was cool. On that point, the band was quite animated, especially Roger, who seemed quite at home. He seemed to be interacting with someone in particular in the crowd. I think he likes Montreal and race car driving, and it was an Indy 500 event this weekend, I believe, in Montreal, so maybe that kind of like set the tone for him. But he was in a great mood, really like getting the crowd going, waving his arms, getting us to clap over and over and over, and just really all smiles and loving it. So it's nice to see Roger having a good time. The whole band seemed to feed off the frenzy of the crowd. It was a really great atmosphere. People cheering loudly, dancing, clearly the band loving it and feeding off that energy, and remarked on it a few times. So thank you, Montreal. You guys are really great to be with. Have to say that. What else can I say? The sound was really good. The set list hadn't changed much from the last couple of shows I'd been to, but it was nice to hear Three Imaginary Boys and Kyoto Song. Wow, again, not my favorite album track, but I thought this played live really nicely. And like I said, the vocals just soaring. The vocals really, really powerful through the entire performance. Robert really getting really good with his vocals. Like when I hear some of the earlier shows in this leg, he was holding back, but he's not holding back at all here. And for example, in It Can Never Be the Same or Disintegration, fully let loose, high pitched, totally convincing. It's like he's 29 again. And I really good delivery on his songs, I thought. Clearly giving his all. I was surprised because he's got a few back-to-back shows, and I hope his voice keeps up. But that was great too. Lots of dancing, lots of moving across the stage. Not too much in terms of fan interaction. He joked a little bit about trying to find words in French. Lots of unintelligible stuff, but he's funny. Yeah, as far as what my wife and son thought, they're pretty big fans of the singles, of course, and that was great to see them having fun with that. Our son is pretty shy and not expressive, but to see him like mouthing some of the words and half dancing along and actually having him laugh at me and his mom dancing and yelling. So it's good to have a teenager laugh at his parents sometimes. So that was a good time. I think it was really nice to give him a good time. My wife's a pretty big fan of Disintegration and Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me and Wish, I would say, and so she loved all those other tracks too that came about. Plain Song is a deep fave of hers, and she got to see Robert up close singing to the side of our stage, and well delivered. Anyway, a great show. We all left super excited. Montreal is super expensive this weekend, so we drove back to our city 2 hours away, and my plan was to drive back the next day for the 17th show. So lots of driving back and forth, but worth it. Yeah, great memories. So yeah, that's my review for night one.
Awesome. Sounded like an amazing show with some new additions to your have seen live Cure list there, and more importantly, a wonderful experience with your family. So that's always awesome to hear, and can't wait to do the same with mine. So thank you so much for covering that first night and those few not tour debuts but rarities that were sprinkled in. So some very cool stuff, and let's see how that matches with night two. And like you said, he had to drive back in, 2-hour drive, but you know, there's some bands you do that kind of thing for, and it's definitely the Cure. So let's see how this all wraps up for Erik. This would be the last show that he's seeing on the tour.
Okay, and now for my review of Montreal, night 2, The Cure, June 17th, Bell Center. This is Erik again. Thanks for listening to me. So, before I get into the details of the show, just wanted to share a little bit about my experience catching the shows overall. This is my last show for this tour, and how to say, I feel like this is the culmination of many years of obsessing for this band. Probably about 35 years of obsession. This band has meant many different things to me over the years, from solace to therapy to good friends to entertainment to a comfort that I let go for a while and came back to for various reasons. And I kind of felt like this year was a bit of a turning point in my life, and it was like a great time to just rediscover what this band meant to me emotionally, now that I'm older. And I think that many in the crowd are probably in a similar situation. I'm fully aware that this is quite likely the last time I'm going to get to see them, and I wanted to see them out with a bang, and so I committed to doing what other fans have talked about over the years, which is catching them in different cities. And this is the fourth show for me after Chicago, Toronto, Montreal night 1, and now Montreal night 2. And I really wanted to see them out with a bang. I realize how fortunate and privileged I am to be able to do that. I took some vacation time from work. I was fortunate to be accompanied by friends and family for the last 2 shows. Really very, very grateful for this week and this experience, and for a band that has meant so much to me. It sounds trite to say it that way, but it has really represented a lot of things, and maybe I'll get into that in another chat with you, Gavin. But anyway, I went in knowing this might be my last show, and I was surprised at how excited I was at first getting there. Drove up with my daughter and her boyfriend for their first big show experience too. And we went all out and got floor tickets, 5 rows from the stage. And so that's an awesome view. We were on Perry's side of the stage. We shuffled in for the Twilight Sad, and we all really liked them. My daughter plans on listening to more of their stuff from now on, so thanks Twilight Sad for warming us up. And then the silence between the 2 shows, and I found myself really overwhelmed with lots of emotion and mostly sadness that this was the end of probably the road for me. It really felt that way, at least at that moment. And after 35 years of kind of saying goodbye, even giving this review is a bit emotional for me. Yeah, just really sad. Really sad about that. Or just like things had finally come to their culmination. I'm aware that they may not tour in this fashion again. And I guess there's a small chance I could see them for a one-off show down the road. But it's the first time I feel this way, even though they've often said it's their last tour or last album or whatever. But it's the first time I really feel the finality from my end. And so that's where I'm coming from. Anyway, so overwhelmed. And I'm worried that I'm not going to enjoy it. They come on, and the crowd goes wild, and I'm having fun because my daughter is having fun too. And I was worried that she'd be overwhelmed with the noise too, but she held strong in the entire show, dancing and singing, and she knows a lot of the songs just from me playing them. And so Alone comes on, and it's quite moving. You know the first lyrics. This is the end of every song, or whatever. And pictures of you, and tearing up for this point, just for what this. It brought me right back to 1989, hearing this with my wife, girlfriend at the time, live, and hearing these songs for the first time, and just. At this point, I'm a little bit overwhelmed with emotion. And same thing after Fragile Thing and then Love Song. Hearing Love Song again, and that means a lot to me and my wife too. So, yeah, just really, really full chest, full of heart at this point. I was surprised. And then things kind of quieted down, and I guess I kind of accepted that here we go. And I was able to settle into the show and enjoy it just as pure entertainment. I kind of let go of a lot of the ties with these songs and just decided to enjoy the show just as pure entertainment, pure performance. And so I got to hear these good friends one last time. So into Burn, which like blows the house down every time. I love Burn. They brought out Fascination Street, one of my favorites, and I feel like they played this really well, better than a few nights ago, so that was fun. A bit noisy, but still fun. And I'd like this, really well done. And then 1,000 Hours. This is the first time I get to hear this one. And once again, just like last night, Robert Smith's vocals are like bang on, and he really did quite well with 1,000 Hours. Not quite top register, and not a super long last note, but really I thought he nailed this one. So I'm glad they performed that one. Nice to hear that. Charlotte Sometimes After, one of my very favorite songs. So glad to hear this one last time. Very moving. Then we get into the rock segment with Push. Crowd going nuts on this one. They brought up Primary. I was really happy to see that. I was wondering if we'd see this show back up on the set list, and we got to see Primary, and boy, that really plays live well too. Fantastic. Shake Dog Shake, From the Edge of the Deep Green Sea, and song. What can I say? Like, just amazing. Encore 1, I Can Never Say Goodbye, and then they switched it up a bit. They went straight into Want. And then we got a couple of pornography tracks. We got A Strange Day, which is beautiful, one of my very favorite songs too. And 100 Years, which is a really good performance too. Closing with A Forest. And then the pop encore. So we got Lullaby, The Walk, Friday I'm in Love, Close to Me, Why Can't I Be You, In Between Days, Just Like Heaven, and he didn't announce the last song for Boys Don't Cry, and it was Saturday night, and second night of Montreal with a fantastic crowd, so I knew there was more coming, and sure enough, 10:15 Saturday night, and Killing an Arab. I'm pretty sure he sung that as Killing Another, from where I could see him mouthing the words. What a way to close the show. These songs have everyone dancing. Crowd in Montreal, fantastic. He loved it. And at the end he closes with saying, if we ever come back, we're coming back here. Fuck yeah. And crowd goes wild. Fantastic show. Had a wonderful time. I was in a great mood for almost all the show, even though I started out quite emotional, and made the most of it. Lots of fun people around us. I wouldn't change a thing. Nice set list with some deep cuts. A couple of songs I'd never heard before. 1,000 Hours. And I don't know. It's funny. I was sure this was the last show I'd ever see. And now I do wonder whether I would show back up again, because if they play in Montreal again, I'll go back. That was just so much fun, such a great crowd, such a great venue, and that might make it worth it one more time. We'll see down the road. Sorry for my rambling, everyone. I hope this helps for those people who haven't been able to see the show. Robert, I should say, was extremely talkative. Like, wow, night and day compared to how he was in the old days. Talkative. I wish I'd jotted down what he said, because now it's all just a jumbled mess. Some of it quite funny. And so yeah, try and catch some of the live recordings and see if you can make out what he says. But yeah, he's great. He's great. Enjoyed himself, and very grateful for this band. All right, I get to now sit back and enjoy everyone else's experiences vicariously. Look forward to other testimonials. Much love to everyone. Good night.
Man, what an emotional roller coaster that was. Thank you so much, Erik, for not only this contribution, but the earlier one and the earlier ones from last episode, and and just all your contribution to the show and really conveying what a lot of us are probably feeling or gonna feel on this tour. And wow, yeah, I'm so glad that you got to channel that emotional saying goodbye, but at the same time enjoy the show and hit that switch where you can really just absorb it and sit back and enjoy the show. So I have a feeling I'm going to be doing a lot of switch hitting myself too, along those same lines. So thank you for putting that all into such great perspective and really capturing what it was like to be at these two shows. They really seemed like a great set of shows, whether you just caught one or both. The set list complement each other, the energy of the crowd and the energy of the band feeding off of that. So great job, Montreal. And thank you again, Erik. Let's look at Boston. Just came in hot off the presses. Tonight is just wrapping up. So let's take a look at what happened in Boston. This is going to be short and sweet because I got to go to sleep so I can wake up early and start driving to the Northeast. But just looking at setlist.fm, I did not watch any real live streams of this show. So this one's going to be kind of black and white, cut and dry, unfortunately. But it looked like an amazing show went down at the Xfinity Center in Boston, Massachusetts. Kicking off the set with Alone, as we would imagine. And then according to setlist.fm, we had something kind of strange where it says that Pictures of You was the extended intro, which I imagine that it always has a fairly extended intro, right? Have they been playing it like the single version with the shorter part of Pictures of You? Now that I think about it, all the live streams I've caught, I've usually come in mid Pictures of You, or at least right as he's singing. So I don't know if I've heard it, but wow, that's surprising if they've been doing it all with the shortened radio edit version of Pictures of You, because I hate that shit. I want to hear the full one. So hopefully, they'll start doing the extended one here. Somebody correct me if that's not true. Maybe this was extra extended intro. But either way, Good on Boston. You get the full extended intro. And on top of that, it looked like a pretty straightforward set like we've seen with the early on Fragile Thing and Night Like This, and then Love Song into Nothing Is Forever. Burn with the alternate of At Night and Charlotte Sometimes in the 8 and 9 slot. Push and Play for Today paired up. And A Forest in the main set with Shake Dog Shake from the Edge of the Deep Green Sea. And End Song, closing out a 15-song main set. For Encore 1, we got a fairly reliable combo of I Can Never Say Goodbye, followed by It Can Never Be the Same. And for the Disintegration block at the end, you got the longer one with Plain Song and Prayers for Rain is in there, when followed by Disintegration, the song. Encore 2, we had pretty close to the original Notorious 9, but we swapped out the Doing the Unstuck for Why Can't I Be You. So they got 6 different ways in there and all those other pop gems, and Why Can't I Be You, closing it out with In Between Days, Just Like Heaven, and Boys Don't Cry. An amazing set. Like I said, sorry to cut this one kind of short and dry, but if anybody out there wants to share their Boston experience with me, feel free to send it. We'll probably do a couple flashbacks after all the tour is over. But I got to wrap this up so I can post this and get to sleep and then hit the road. My plan is travel tomorrow on the Cure's off day, see my sister and brother-in-law, then head on over to Chaz's bright and early. Then we're going on up to Long Island. We're going to be taking trains in and stuff. So hard to say how much hangout time we're going to get, but we have that. I said on that meetup, hopefully we can make it there. If not, we'll be lingering around in the arena, stadium, MSG, and waiting in some fucking line. So hopefully we can catch some people and some familiar smiley faces there. If you see us, we'll see you, and hopefully get a quick hello in, and it'll be great. So we'll be up there. It'll be great to see you, and I'll keep you posted. Keep your eyes peeled on Instagram. We'll put little clues of where we are, and hopefully we can track some of you guys down. Cool. Awesome. Well, I hope anybody else traveling out there has a safe travels. Again, very special thank you to Erik for sharing nights 1 and 2. I really didn't expect to have anything for these shows, and he really really saved the day on that. So thank you so much, Erik, and not only just giving us a review, but such cool emotional thoughts. And I'm so glad he got to experience night 1 with his family, and night 2 a proper goodbye, if it is that way for the Cure. Let's hope not. They'll be back around. They always come back, right? So you never know with these guys, and that's cool. But if it comes to that, it sounded like a perfect way to wrap up seeing the Cure. I'll try to mentally prepare myself for that too, as well as this tour winds down. But let's not think about that yet. Onward to the Northeast. Thank you guys so much for listening. Stay tuned. Like I said, subscribe and follow us on Instagram to figure out what the hell's going on in the next week or so, because I'll be winging it. All right. Thank you so much, and talk to you soon. Talk hard. Maybe even see you soon. Who knows? Take it easy.